Hello and welcome to Failure and Analysis. I'm playing Blood Bowl 2. My Bretonnian team is Game 5 against Chaos Dwarf. Exciting. He's got a journeyman. 1, 1, and 0. A block bowl and a sure hands goblin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like he lost a hobgoblin. Yeah, I used to watch a lot more anime than I do now. I keep asking people for, because there's just so much more available now than back when I was younger. And I keep asking people for good ones, you know, like, because there's just so much, it's hard for me to parse through. Because anime is pretty, there's a pretty wide variety on quality, you know. So what's like one of your all-time favorites, like in the last 5 years? I think the last anime I really watched was, gosh, I'm drawing a blank on it now. I even have the box set and I can't remember. Can't remember what it is. Oh, it's on the tip of my brain. Ooh, 150k. Should I take a wizard? Willow. Nice, nice, okay. Yeah. God, it's killing me. It's killing me. Oh, here it is. Cowboy Bebop. That was the last one I watched a ton of and really enjoyed. How you doing, Rex Longbone? Yeah, cooking battles. Yeah, I love food. And my girls watched Cupcake Wars. That was really fun. And one of my girls is still super into baking because of it, watching it from years ago. Samurai Champloo, okay. Oh, nice. Okay, I didn't know that. 7 Deadly Sins, alright. Yeah, I watched a little bit of Death Note, and I actually saw the movie, the Death Note movie, the live action one they made on Netflix. Watched it with one of my daughters. She watched the whole anime series. I've only seen probably 6 or 7 episodes, but try again. Nice, nice. How you doing, Average Rice? Yeah, it was difficult to find good anime back in the day. This is before the internet and streaming services everywhere. You'd have to like rent them or just buy them outright, and you just never knew what you were in for until you got it home and started watching. So we do that occasionally with my friends, you know, and we get together and watch some anime, but half the time it was just a total dud. More than half the time it seemed like. You watch Akira, and then you go and just rent a random thing, and it's like, nope, not even close. So I kind of got out of it because the signal-to-noise ratio was so bad, but now with streaming services, you can, like, pretty quickly watch a few minutes, you know, tell if it's going to be the style you're going to like or not. You. Ha! I'm thinking it's my ball. I don't think he's here, particularly. I can't believe I gave him a touchback. Unfortunate. Well, everyone's still here. 3 out of 4 armor breaks, but they're fine. That's a pretty juicy fireball, to be honest. Ooh. I like it. That's a cool sounding character. Leave him down. Leave him down. He's pretending he's stunned. He doesn't mind trading. That's fine by me. Oh, nice. That sounds right up their alley, yeah. They absolutely love, we all do actually, Teen Titans Go. That show is amazing. And they loved this game. Came out on the Xbox, probably some other places, called Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds, and all the characters are girls, and they're all anime characters, and it plays like the old Golden Axe or Castle Crashers, you know, that style of game. Real fun. Nice. Okay. Go Dauntless. Soul Leader? It definitely sounds familiar. Oh, the Ornan Scatter. It's a classic. Not a great spot to be in, though, to be honest. I'll definitely look those up. I think I'll start with a drive. Got him. Good old one-die pals. Very nice. Thank you so much, Stolen XP. Ooh, my turn. Yeah, I worked on Tyranny quite a bit. Yeah, I was at Obsidian for a couple of years, and I worked for a little bit on the World of Tanks light game, Armored Warfare, and then moved to the Tyranny team and helped them get that one ready to ship. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that one was definitely fun to work on. It offered something pretty unique. Gave you the flexibility to play the bad guy if you wanted. They stressed that a little too much in the marketing. I think was a turnoff, because it wasn't really like you had to play the bad guy. And because a lot of games in the past that have allowed you to play the bad guy generally shook out as you're a psychopath, you like to run around and eat babies and kick puppies, right? Like, rather than, you know, an intelligently written bad guy, right? I think a lot of people got turned off. And so the way it should have been marketed, in my opinion, which was closer to the truth, was you know, it was just morally gray. There were no judgments placed on the decisions you made. So if you and you just had goals to accomplish, and you had reasons for accomplishing those goals, and so it was much better written, you know, than the typical game, which is just, oh, you're bad, you must kill innocents and, you know, kick puppies. So this one was a lot better in that sense, but you didn't necessarily have to do that. It's just you had to weigh the consequences of taking certain paths over others, and the game just reacted to you based on the choices you made. So I was impressed with that side of it, and I worked on the systems and the balance and stuff like that, all the little crunchy numbers, but and then some of the boss fights, and actually all the boss fights. But that it was unique in that sense, but I don't think people quite understood that it was unique in that sense, just because of the way it was marketed. So that was unfortunate, but here we are. Yeah, Overlord was really fun. Dungeon Keeper, you know, those had a pretty good style. You know, like it was cartoony evil rather than like psychopath evil. You know, sort of that blundering, right? Like, exasperated villain, you know, nothing's going right, sort of thing. Oh yeah, I'll definitely wrestle this thing down. But yeah, it's quite good. It's shorter than the Pillars game, which I thought was good. A lot of replayability because of the choice and consequence. So it encourages you to play a couple different playthroughs, try things out, and make your character a slightly different way. There's talent trees and stuff like that. So absolutely, I played that game quite a bit. That's sort of the key to me to the success of a game. Is, you know, like a lot of companies approach the question, what should we make next, with, you know, what's big on the market right now, you know, what are the demographics telling us, like where's the money at, sort of thing. And to me, that's never the right question to what game should we make next. The game that we should make next, the answer is, to me, is always, what does the team want to play right now? Like, what are they really excited? What are they playing currently, and what do they want to go home and play? And if there's a vacancy in the market for games that a game type that they love to play, like they're playing one currently, but they don't feel like the industry's getting the maximum out of it. There's potential, it's untapped, then that should be the thing that's made. And so, yeah, I'm a firm believer. And I've been lucky enough to be able to pick projects that I love the game and I love working on it. So, but yeah, I end up playing them quite a bit. So, yeah, and that's the thing. Like when you're passionate about something, and that's what you want to do in your spare time as well as in your professional time, it really shows in the end product, right? Like, people can tell that you love doing what you're doing, and all that love and passion goes into the product, and yeah, you end up with something that really shines rather than just another version of something that's already on the market, and everyone's just kind of going through the paces of, let's make a version with our own IP on it. And I'm playing really conservatively. It's refreshing. Like, not blocking with this guy and then blitzing with someone else, because he has the skill and I don't want to really burn a reroll. Yeah, I don't usually do that. I do less of it than I should. Yeah, and I got my start at Blizzard, and that, everyone, of course, was playing. We're crazy gamers, and they made it a point to hire gamers, right, in all the fields. Even the receptionist had to be a gamer, right? And I remember talking to somebody, the husband of somebody my wife knew. We were a couple friends with them. It was a long time ago, and the guy worked on games. I don't remember who for, but he talked about how he loved working on his car, and that's basically all he wanted to do. I asked him what he played. That's a really common thing. What are you playing every time you talk to a developer? And he was like, "Oh, I don't really play games. I just like to work on my car when I get home." And then almost in the same breath, like within like a minute, he then made the comment, "I don't know why our games don't sell very well." I'm like, wow. The secret was right in front of you. Yeah. And, for me, I think single-player games are in a great place right now in the market because MMO has been such the rage for so long now that everyone's been doing that, and so everyone kind of stepped back. Everyone just thought, well, okay, the money's in multiplayer, the money's in, the MMO style story delivery, which is a totally different thing, right? And in that kind of game, the story, you can't make a difference, right? Like, you can't be the hero because there's a million people next to you that also want to be the hero. So yeah, it's so I think as people sort of finish that, that MMO that they're playing, and they're like, okay, I've done that. That was super fun. I'm looking for something else. Like, I know this was my experience. Like, I tried a few other MMOs after I stopped playing WoW, and a lot of it was the same. Everyone was trying to get on WoW's success. But I was also just starving for single-player RPGs, one where the story revolved around me, was directed at me, was written around my character and my choices. And so I went through this whole phase where I couldn't get enough of them. And I think for a lot of people, that's, the market is still kind of in that space. And, as people come out of them, and more games, like, are doing single player stories, like shooters have that, and, everyone sort of has a little bit of story. Aha. Gotcha. Final Fantasy VII. Yes. Yes, I did. Loved it. I loved 7. There was an earlier one than that. I get mixed up between the numbers because the Japanese numbers were different than the American numbers. But I played the entire one of, I want to say 3. Yeah, it might be 6. On the Super Nintendo at a friend's house. Alright, I didn't even have a Super Nintendo, but I went and played the entire thing on his machine, just hanging out at his house every day, one summer. So I loved that one. And then I got a lot out of 9 as well, but mostly because of the Blitzball. I absolutely fell in love with Blitzball. I think that was 9. I don't remember finishing 9, but I played so much Blitzball. So that was my Final Fantasy experience. Okay, yeah, Terra, right. Medio and the old man wizard. Right. Ten was Blitzball? Okay. Okay. I just remember that it was so funny because you could play it at any save point, and so I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna play the story a little bit. I'd go and I'd play. I get to a save point, and I'm like, well, it's time for Blitzball again. And I'd play so much that I'd come back to the save point, and I'd be like, I have no idea what's going on in the story, or where I was, or where I'm supposed to be going, even what direction, because it's the paths are usually linear, but you have to at least know the direction you're going. And I wouldn't even know that. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to think that it's this way. So super funny, because I was just playing Blitzball exclusively. And then there were also times where I'd be, okay, I should get back to the story, so I won't play. I'll give it another save point, before I had to play more. And there'd be moments where they give you 2 save points really close to each other. And so it was like, oh, well, gotta go back to Blitzball. So yeah, it was really hard for me to get through because I love Blitzball so much. Oh, nice. Yeah, I know that there was a story element where you had to really just destroy in Blitzball, but I never got to that point. I was just too busy leveling my team and having fun with that. So definitely one of the greatest mini games they've ever made, in my opinion. Yeah, Borderlands is... I think we've talked about Borderlands Average Rice. Yeah, so good. Like, villain was amazing. I wish I liked the game a little bit better. I keep going back to that one, Borderlands 2, because I wanted more of the story, but the game got a little too repetitive, right? Like it fell into that category of game design that mimics the MMO experience when it doesn't have to, right? Like it just seemed like Dragon Age Inquisitor was a great example of this. It was like, that's basically a single player RPG. Not basically, but it is a single player RPG, and the zones were laid out like MMO zones with the spawns and the pickups everywhere and like the herbs and stuff, and I was just like, no, don't. They have totally different needs, these kind of games, like don't make this an MMO zone. And so Borderlands had some of that. Obviously it was a multiplayer game with groups, but I felt like they could have focused the gameplay a little better. Cut out, more of the traveling and stuff like that. And, later games like, the Destinies and the Warframes and the, games like that sort of try to do that as well. But I'm just going to pass. Yeah, Blitzball standalone. So good. Multiplayer turn-based. Or even, real time. Yeah, that's how it used to be, Dreadbull, when like sort of right before MMOs came out, and then I played MMOs to death. And after that, I was like, okay, I need single player games again. I really need that curated experience that's about me. The remake of 7, I didn't play it. Handsome Scratcher, no. Yeah, I didn't follow that one. I played a lot of 15, which also suffered from that MMO, right, problem of like, oh, this is very much like an MMO. And it doesn't have to be, like... it's funny because those Final Fantasy games are really linear usually. The storyline, the maps, like it usually is just walk this way until you get to the end, and then you fight something big, and then you go on to the next linear path. And there were times where I really appreciated that. Times when I was gaming where that was like, okay, that actually is a plus. I know a lot of people complain about it. They want that open world exploration feel, and the game usually opens up at some point in those in that franchise, but yeah, it didn't bother me a lot of times. I was like, yeah, don't make me explore like too much. Especially since they didn't, that's just not where they put their eggs, in the basket of like a really beautiful world with really compelling terrain and, you know, things to explore. Their stuff was in the systems and in the characters and in the movies and the interactions and the, you know, trying to make a good story. Well, that was a nice removal, and he's got 2 guys still out, so I'm still numbers up, even though he's beating me up. Yeah, that's exactly where I was, Dreadbull, years ago. Like, if it wasn't multiplayer, I just didn't care. There were exceptions, of course, like the XCOM games. Really good. But yeah, for probably 10, 12 years straight, it was just all MMOs, all multiplayer. I was really into MOBAs for a long time. Counter-Strike, Team Fortress 1 and 2, like Dota. I started with Dota 1. Ooh, that's a good hit. You know, I loved the Final Fantasy series as a kid, teenager, and then disconnected with them pretty hard once I sort of got into the gaming industry. You know, Blizzard had a very different philosophy on game design. And learning all those lessons from Blizzard, being trained, you know, in that way, sort of put me at odds with the game design sensibilities of the the Final Fantasy series. The stories also, like, to me, got pretty repetitive. Like, it was always Gaia this and no. I really didn't need that. Do I re-roll that? I don't think so. Yeah, the Fallout games. I was huge into Fallout, Fallout Tactics, Fallout New Vegas is on my list below. It's one of the greatest games of all time. How you doing, Tom Shizzle? Yeah, 7 was great. nice, Magna Carta 2. Didn't play that one, but I remember it. How you doing, Herbiak? Hi there, Kismaki. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. It's not Brett's, it's Bert's. Yeah, I didn't have a console growing up. I had a PC, so like I was saying, I had to go to a friend's, and I played all of 3 or 6, whatever you want to call it, on his machine, and then, but that was it. The rest of for us was like PC. He had a PC and a console, so I'd play on his console while he was playing something on the PC. Or we'd be co-oping a game on the PC, and I'd be playing, during his turns, I'd be playing Final Fantasy, which he'd already finished or whatever. But yeah, good times. Risky block incoming. I'll take the push. That's all I needed. Dofus. That sounds really, really familiar. I'll have to look that up in a second. Dread Bull, yeah. You're like, slow down. You can only play this when I'm around. That's the contract you have to make, right? I remember we did a Diablo run one time. It was a hardcore Diablo run with a bunch of buddies. We thought that would be really fun. And so we all sat down and played a bunch. And we didn't specify, but that's sort of the contract, right? You only play when each other are around. And one of the guys was just like, no, he just played it the rest of the night, into the night, you know. It's just like, come back and he's 20 levels higher. We're like, just, oh, that's the end of that. Like, just killed it. He couldn't help himself, you know. It's like, no. No, KO'd. Alright, we're evened up now, but it's got a few more hits on me. Well, then you're not going to like this run. Holy cow, Kismaki. Because, as you can see, I'm missing quite a few positionals. I have 5 of the 8 positionals. So I'm feeling a lot of not just peasants, but journeyman peasants. Feed him that guy. Feed him to the bull. Run back over here. I'm going to do something about this guy. No! Thank you, Stolen XP. Appreciate you stopping by and for the host. I'll talk to you later. Have a good rest of the night. Yeah, that's true, Chris Mackey. You see the 2 loner peasants, but did you see these other? Thankfully, they took the hits. That's their job. No, don't do it. I need that guy. Captain Marvelous. Oh, death. Woot. There's his last reroll. Man. He's turning it up. Yeah. Yeah, I agree on that reroll cost thing. Not really sure what's going on there. Why they felt that was necessary. That was a big 1-die block. Pretty big stun there too. 6, so he can get to him. I could just lightning bolt this guy for fun. Yeah, Dreadbull. So funny. That's right, Ariuk. If I specifically go out of my way to not say something, the least you could do is understand what I was trying to not say. Woot! Thanks for the bits. For the blood god. Oh, bonus. Bonus. I don't think he's gonna catch me now. Woo! Doors are worth more? Is that? I can't remember. Is that what we're... Oh, you're augmenting your rate. Alright. I like the sound of that. I thought for a second dwarves were just worth more. Nice. Okay. Okay. But I don't know if loner lineman... Loner peasant should count. Take that. Thinking this might be a good time to score. Just an idea. Yeah, he's been all in on injuries from the start. He's got the force my opponent to concede game plan. Not my precious peasants. Praise the sun. Hey, you got a peasant back. I've got 6 dudes, huh? I'm feeling pretty elfy right now. Winning the game with very few people. Of course, he's out 4 people. Shouldn't be fouling stunned peasants on the ground is probably the lesson here. Oh, he lost a turn. No sprint in for him. That's game. But I lost another positional. I think I can buy another one though. I can't remember what my treasury was at. Failed.
After that match, I need to change my undergarments.
Alright. I'd like to re-roll that. Oh, still not enough. Woo, we did it! Checks quests. Oh, he also leveled. Wow, that's a lot of armor breaks. But I avoided the MVP on a peasant. Dauntless. Ooh, thank you very much, Erviek. That was a pretty juicy game, I'll admit. We got some love. Every time I look at these guys, their TV is lower. Alright, checks quest. What's it gonna be? 9. I'm considering tackle. That's what I'm considering. Rather than just dodge on everyone. All my blitzers first. Anyone have any thoughts? Yeah, you're still in there. You're the leader. Look at you. Seriously. You're the most experienced survivor. Yeah, dodge, tackle, or leader. Those are my three choices, I'd say. Dread Bull, you're in for tackle. Okay. I'll think about it. Anyway, that was game 5 against Chaos Dwarf. Nice little game. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and come follow me on Twitch. See you soon for more Blood Bowl.